A lot of you have probably heard of what's called seasonal affective disorder. Maybe some of us here even have it. It's called SAD for short, and it's something that affects people's moods. It can be pretty serious. Sometimes it can affect people in the summer, but more often it comes in the winter. Because in the winter, of course, it's the opposite of what it is now. We have really short days. Not a lot of sunlight. Not only is the sun not up for very long, but we tend to have an awful lot of gray, cloudy days, where we don't get to see the sun at all. And that affects most of us to some extent, but because very few of us like it, of course, but for some people it can cause a real and a serious depression. Now, I bring it up because as we think about the story of Noah and the ark, we don't very often think about all of those days that Noah spent in the ark. So try to imagine you're Noah. You go into the ark, you and your family and all these animals and birds and such. And it starts raining. And it keeps raining. And it keeps raining. Day after day after day. Nothing but rain. Maybe sometimes it rains a little harder. Maybe sometimes it's more light. Sometimes probably a total downpour. Maybe sometimes a more moderate rain. Maybe it even tapers off to a drizzle sometimes. But it just keeps raining. Day after day after day. Rains for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, no one knew it was going to. God had told him that. But still, day after day after day, nothing but rain. And we don't really know whether that 40 was an exact figure. Some say that was just kind of an expression people used that back then for an unspecified amount of time, the way we would use the phrase a few weeks or something like that, that when you said 40 days, it was not literally an exact 40 days. So Noah may not have known exactly when the rain was going to stop. Think of how depressing that would be. Have it rain, and keep raining, and keep raining, and not know when it's going to stop. You're stuck on this boat. No one to talk to except your wife and your 3 sons and their wives. 7 people to talk to for all this time. 7 people who probably are not in a very good mood any more than you are. 7 people who cannot do a thing about your situation, cannot change it. You could go to the top deck and get some fresh air, and probably you'd need to after a while with all those animals on the boat, but still, it's damp and it's humid because all it does is rain. And you think about what's happened to the earth. All your friends, gone. Your hometown, gone. Your house, gone. All your family except for those people on the boat, gone. Your livestock, gone. All the hills, the trees, the grass, even the rocks, gone. Washed away in the flood. Everything you had, everything you've worked for, everything you enjoyed about your life other than your family, gone. Nothing left. You talk about a seasonal affective disorder. Noah must have had it in spades. Be an incredibly hard thing to deal with. I start to get depressed if we have bad weather that lasts a couple of days. This is rain for over a month, wiping out absolutely everything. And then eventually it does stop raining, and the sun comes out, and you cheer up a little. Except that you go to the top deck and you look out, and all you can see is water. No land anywhere. Not even a hint that there might be some land somewhere. Nothing but water. The entire earth is flooded. And you have no idea how long this flood might last either. In fact, you don't know for sure that it's going to end. God told Noah that it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights and the earth was going to be flooded. He told Noah to save at least 2 of every kind of animal and every kind of bird, but God did not tell Noah that the water would recede eventually. At least that's not said in the Bible. Maybe Noah assumed it, but maybe not. And even if Noah did assume it, after time goes by, day after day, week after week, month after month, and nothing but water, Noah must have started to wonder, am I ever going to get off this boat? Am I ever going to set foot on dry land again? Or is this it? Is this how I'm going to spend the rest of my life? Stuck here on the ark, taking care of these animals. And I think most of us, maybe all of us, have had days when we can relate to how Noah must have felt. Because most of us have times in our lives when we're in a situation where we don't want to be in that situation. Feels like bad things are happening and we don't know when they're ever going to stop. We feel like we're stuck. Feel like we have no one to talk to, no one who understands anyway, nobody who can do anything about it, nobody who can help. We feel like we're losing everything that we've had, everything we worked for in our life. Sometimes we feel like we're even losing our friends and our family. And we don't know how long things are going to go on like this. In fact, we don't know if this is ever going to end. We wonder if things will ever get better. Or maybe this is it. Maybe this is how we're going to spend the rest of our lives. Stuck where we are. In a situation we don't want to be in. With no chance of anything ever changing. I bet a lot of us have been there. I've been there. But here's the point. When Noah was feeling this way, what happened next? The Bible describes it in 4 words. It says at the beginning of Genesis chapter 8, but God remembered Noah. God remembered Noah. Now that does not mean that God ever forgot about Noah, of course. In fact, it means the exact opposite. It means that God was with Noah all the time. God was with Noah when Noah was building the ark. God was with Noah when Noah loaded the animals into the ark. God was with Noah when Noah and his family went into the ark. And God was with Noah when it was raining. God was with Noah whether it was a drizzle or a downpour. And God was with Noah when the rain stopped. God was with Noah even when Noah was depressed. God was with Noah even when Noah could not feel that God was there with him. God was still there. And that's not all. God not only was with Noah, but God did something about Noah's situation. Now, it did not happen right away, but it did happen. God sent a wind to dry up the water. Eventually, the ark comes to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The tops of the mountains become visible. Noah sends out a dove. First time it does not find any dry land. But the second time, it does. And eventually, Noah and his family are able to leave the ark and go out onto dry land. God brought Noah through the storm, and Noah's life could begin again. When you and I feel like this life is overwhelming, when we feel like we're stuck in a bad situation, and there's nobody who can help, and there's no chance that anything's ever going to change, think about this story. Because God remembered Noah. And God will remember you. And God will remember me. God has never forgotten us. God is with us all the time. God is there when it starts raining in our souls, whether that rain feels like a drizzle or a downpour. God is with us when we're depressed. God is with us even when we don't feel God there with us. God is still there. And just as God did for Noah, God will do something about our situation. It may not happen right away, but it will happen. Eventually, the downpour we feel like we're in will stop. Eventually, the sun will shine again. The flood waters will recede from our lives. It may happen slowly. At first, we may just get some stability and some rest, like the ark resting on the mountains. Then, some hope becomes visible, just like the mountaintops. Then we take a few tentative steps. We let out a dove. And we find out that our situation really has changed. And eventually we are able to leave that situation and go on to a new one. God will bring us through the storm. And our lives can begin again. If you get nothing else out of this sermon series on Noah, I hope you get that. That no matter how depressed you feel, no matter how bad things may seem, do not give up, because your situation is not hopeless. God is there. And God is hope. When Noah was at his lowest point, God remembered him. When you and I are at our lowest point, God remembers us. God remembers and God acts. God makes the storms of our lives come to an end. God blows away whatever it is that's overwhelming us. God makes the bad situation go away, and God puts us into a new situation, a situation with endless possibilities. And our lives can begin again. God saw to it that Noah lasted through the storm. Noah survived it, and Noah got a new life. And God will see to it that you and I can last through our storms, that we can survive the storms of our lives. And you and I will get new lives too.